Acoustic. 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 Acoustic.
All right. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's your girl Mahogany Roots here. Let me make sure y'all can hear me. It's your girl Mahogany Roots here, and I'm back at you again with another video. So the moment I heard about this, I knew I was going to talk about it. But I knew I wanted to talk about it the only way that I know how to talk about it, which is from a non-political standpoint. So, this is such a sad, sad story. This is what we're going to do. There's 3 things that I'm going to cover in this live stream. One of them, well, there's 3 different situations I'm going to cover in this live stream, okay? One is obviously the title, Charlie Kirk, and his family, but also the shooter and his family. And then I'm going to take it over to a few events that happened on the same day that pretty much are being overshadowed by the Charlie Kirk situation. So first off, I'm going to start by doing a moment of silence. Let me look at the time. So we're going to do a moment of silence for not only Charlie Kirk, actually, Charlie Kirk, but also, let me pull it up. Y'all give me a second. Let me find my photos. But also this young man, because on the same day, there was a school shooting. So this young man. All right, so we've given them a moment of silence. Woo! Okay, so let's start off with Charlie Kirk. Good morning, young Rias. Welcome, welcome. You could be any place, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate you. I'm your big sis. Yes, let's start off with Charlie Kirk. I'll be the first to tell you that I know very little about this man. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to know much about him because I don't think it really matters in the conversation that I'm about to have with you. I don't think it really matters, honestly, the type of person he was. What matters is that he was shot in cold blood. He was assassinated in front of the whole world, right? On a college campus, speaking to college kids in the United States of America. All these are important facts. And on the very same day, there was another shooting at a high school where that young man that I just showed you, his name was Matthew, where he, and I believe I'm gonna look it up here while we're in live, another student was also killed. I don't think they wanted to release the other person's photo. Whew. So the reason I say it doesn't matter what type of person he was, because for me, this is not like it really doesn't. It's not political, and that's the part that makes this story even more sad, because you have politicians on both sides of the fence. You know, this is the thing. This situation is not the first, and unfortunately, unless we do something about it, it will not be the last. But this is not the first situation to where we had somebody that was obviously mentally unstable, whether they were whether they were an extremist on the left side or an extremist on the right side. This is not the first time. But America doesn't want to deal with the elephant in the room, and there's the elephant in the room is mental illness. Instead of dealing with the elephant in the room, they want to, oh, well, this is an extreme leftist or this is an extreme rightist. No, his political views had nothing to do with his mentality. You got a lot of mentally ill people walking around. And we have to deal with it. This is the thing. We have to deal with the elephant in the room. America does not want to deal with the elephant in the room. They want to, but instead what they will do is divide an already so divided country even more by pushing the fact that this person was a leftist or a rightist, which really does not matter, because you got people that are leftists and rightists, but they're not out here picking up weapons and shooting at people. See, that's the difference. And that's the elephant in the room. That's the important factor. Now, let's just tell the truth about it. The truth about it is that a lot of the politicians that are howling out, oh, we, leftist, rightist, whatever, it's all about a political agenda for them. And that's sad, because this man left behind, I saw the photos of his wife and his two little children, beautiful children. And my heart just broke. In this man's death, these politicians can't, even in his death, they can't do the right thing. But I should have known, honey. When Sandy Hook happened, it seems like every time there's another shooting, my heart breaks. And I think it can't break anymore. But this is actually, My heart is breaking even more because how many years out are we since Sandy Hook? And you could not tell me, honey, when I watched on the news when Sandy Hook happened, if y'all don't remember that, that's when all those little children, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, got shot, killed in a mass shooting. I said, surely these politicians are going to get their head out their behinds and they're going to do something. They're going to do something about gun control, and they're going to do something about mental illness in this country. Nope. Nope. I was wrong. I was wrong. It's just so sad. So I want to stay focused. It's political because, like I said, the shooter and his beliefs really had, I understand from a criminal investigation point of view, that's important. But from the aspect that this country should be looking at it, no, it's not important. From a security point of view, yeah, we need to know who the extremists are. We do need to know that. But I'm talking about from a standpoint of solution-based, how do we fix this in this country? It doesn't matter because the root, honey, the underlying cause is mental illness. There needs to be stronger laws. First of all, let me just, we're going to run it down here today. I'm going to take my time with this. First of all, some little known facts. One little known fact is that the brain psychosis is the most understudied, newly studied area of science that is known to man. We do not know much about the human brain. And we need to invest more in it. Another fact is that young males between the ages of 18 to, like, I believe in their early 30s, early to mid 30s, are at an extreme high risk of depression, of suicide, of committing violent acts, all, you name it. Why? We've got research going on for Viagra, research going on for everything under the moon, how to clone a damn sheep, which they figured that out. But why isn't there more research being put into understanding the human brain and how it works, so we can understand how to correct it when things are going off track? That's what I'd like to know. Why is that not important to people? Because guess what? I got a news flash for y'all. I would dare to say that every family has at least one family member that is suffering from mental illness. Like I said, this is not the first situation. This will not be the last situation where somebody with mental illness takes the life of innocent people. And then we all gasp and clutch our pearls and our neckties, and we sit back and we say that we're shocked. You know, the state representatives, the governors and all that, they say that they're shocked, and oh my goodness, it was a leftist, it was a rightist, it was a, one of those ists. And they start pointing the finger back and forth, but nobody wants to actually sit down at the table, come up with a strategic plan to put an end to this, to the endless killings, to the endless horror stories. Because trust and believe, it's not just when you take someone off the planet. First of all, how dare you? How dare you? that you think that you are as powerful as the creator and you have the right and the wisdom, honey. And that small brain of ours, right? Because we only use 10% of our brain to understand what we're doing when we're taking somebody off the earth. So many lives are affected. His wife will forever be affected. His wife's family will ever be affected. His children will forever be affected. His children's children will ever be affected. Oh, you know, your grandfather was assassinated in front of the world. And with it, people are looking up, you know, things that he has said on the internet. Like I said, I'm not gonna make this live stream about that, but I will possibly touch on that in another live stream. This is about just the lack of respect for life, for human life. That's what this show is about. So, oh, thank you, sweetie. Everybody's in bed. I had to come live, y'all, because I don't have very much time. I know everyone's in bed. And I was gonna be in bed, but I said, no, let me come up and talk about this. Hey, Jamar. The lack of humanity. That's right. The lack of humanity. And I'm going to share a video, which everyone has probably seen. I try to abstain from sharing videos, you guys, because I'm trying to reboot my channel. Like I said, I've been demonetized twice already, and I'm sick of YouTube and their fugaziness. So I'm trying to do everything on the up and up. So I'm going to share it. Like I said, video. Let me get back focused. I had to talk about this. I just had to, but it's political, you guys. It's political because otherwise they would say, let's deal with the elephant in the room, which is mental illness. And let's make tougher gun laws. Listen, I'm actually a proponent. I have told y'all I was robbed one time, okay, at gunpoint. My house, they attempted to break into my house. They stole property, right, off of my property. My car was stolen. So I am a proponent of people having weapons. But this is not about people having weapons. This is about making sure that everybody does not need access to a weapon. I'm sorry. Everybody and their mama and their grandmama and their granddaddy do not need access to a weapon. And what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about doing a mental check with the people that own weapons. It's too easy to buy a weapon. No, they need to do checks on folks. And then people who have weapons need to make sure that they don't have a mentally ill child or a mentally ill grandchild living up in their house if they're going to have a weapon. And if they have a weapon, those people don't need to have no access to it. Like, we have to tighten up on the laws on gun control, and we also need to bring more awareness to mental illness. This is never going to stop. But like I said, it's all political. The gun control. Who is the highest donator, right, to certain parties? And they feel like by having tougher gun control, as if they're not rich enough, right? Somehow is going to affect their bottom line, and you know, then it gets into my amendment with my Second Amendment right, and no one's taking away your Second Amendment right. This is just about toughening up the laws, making that it's not so easy for just any old body to get a weapon. Toughen up on cyber laws. A lot of these extremists are using the internet as their breeding ground for the weak-minded, for the people that are easily led like sheep. The internet is their breeding ground. Why? Because they have an anonymity. They have, they don't have to show their faces, and so this is the breeding ground for. I'm gonna be honest, for a lot of weak-minded people. Not to include you and I. That's not what I'm saying. But there are people, and they're easily led astray, honey. Like I said, I'm doing this live the only way I know how. I'm a very spiritually based person, despite what others might think, despite how I get up here and I crack jokes, I cuss, I try to make you guys laugh, but no, I'm very spiritually based, honey. Mahogany go to her knees before I make any decisions about anything or anybody. And whether people want to believe it or not, we are at war, honey. We are at war with spirits, but we are at war with principalities, honey. Good versus evil. So I picked up my Bible today. Let me just pull up some things. I picked up my Bible today. Let me find some things, because we're going to bring this all together. And I pulled up some scriptures. I'm going to share the most popular ones with you. Scriptures of protection. And one of my favorites, and I think it was definitely the favorite of the women in my family, that is the 23rd Psalm. Y'all, I'm trying to share it on my screen. I'm not used to this the way they have it here. So just give me a second while I pull it up so I can show it to you. I'm going to try and show it to you. But yeah. And I went back to a lot of different scripture, okay? I read a little bit of Corinthians. I read a little bit of Genesis, because all throughout the Bible, where is the, y'all, I'm looking for it. I should already had it pulled up. I want the whole thing. They're just giving me a passage. I want the whole 23rd Psalm. I don't know what this website is. Okay, let me come back to you guys. Hey, Sherlock Holmes, good morning. You guys are coming in a little bit. I'm not going to keep on repeating what I've said, but I'm talking about the Kirk, the Charlie Kirk story. And we did a moment of silence for him. And then also there was a school shooting where 2 young people were also the same day their life was taken. A lot of horrible things happened that day. I didn't even know. Yesterday I was at work, and one of my patients let me know, a lot of things happened, but they're only, they're talking about the Charlie Kirk situation, which is a very sad situation. And we have to keep his family in our prayers because they're going through a lot, I'm sure. But so honestly, so is the family of that shooter. We found out that his own father had to turn him in. But basically, I'm talking about how America doesn't want to deal with the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is the lack of effort of putting into mental illness in this country, the lack of acknowledging that mental illness is real, and the lack of gun control, and the lack of cybersecurity. Now, cybersecurity, I will say this, is fairly new. The internet hasn't been around that long. How long has it been? Has it even been 20 years yet? I don't even know if it's been 20 years. But that other stuff we should have been then dealt with. How many more people have to die? Like I said, there was a school shooting the same day, but the politicians really aren't talking about that, are they? They're talking about Charlie Kirk, which is a horrible situation in itself also. But they're saying things like, "Oh, it was a leftist who did it." It should not. The focus should not be whether it's a leftist or a rightist. The focus should be on how do we prevent this from happening again. That's where the focus should be. All right, but let this be a outright sign to us, the people, that we see how these politicians work. I don't care what side they're on; they're all the same. But yes, the internet is a festering ground for weak-minded people. There's no winners there's no winners. I feel, truth be told, y'all, I work with children, but I see kids like the shooter. I'm telling you, and I'm not even trying to be funny. I see introverted little boys and girls that are teenagers. They're awkward. They feel like they have no voice. They're obviously dealing with something mentally. The parents are completely unaware. They're in denial. So the child is undiagnosed. The child is undiagnosed and untreated for the help that he or she needs mentally. Truth be told, there's a lot of young people walking around that way, and they're being ignored because this country has not invested in the research of mental illness. It is the elephant in the room. This is not about the shooter being a leftist or a rightist. This is about that person having mental illness. Like I said, you could be on the left side or the right side. Everybody doesn't pick up a gun and go out and shoot somebody from 100 yards. There's other things at play here that the United States needs to deal with, and they don't want to because they're too worried about their the elections in a few years. Like, I'm just so sick of it. How many people have to die? How many children have to die? Sandy Hook, I'm telling you, after I sat there and cried on my sofa watching Sandy Hook, and I said, surely these fools will get their head up their asses and do something about gun control and mental illness in this country. And hot damn it, here we are years later, still nothing has been done. Nothing has been done. Let me look at y'all. Thank you, Jamar. Jamar says, matter of fact, closer to God. Let me read a few because I'm sorry. Said, there was an active shooter just across the street from my job the same day. I got a text on my phone texting me. Wow. It's out of control. It's absolutely out of control. They're bringing the National Guard to my city in Memphis, Tennessee. It's long overdue, and it's not physical war, but rather spiritual. I do believe it. I do believe it's spiritual. Listen, I had everything up. I'm going to try and stick to the schedule. So I'm going to share a few things with you guys. If this has to come down later on, it will. So let me see what I can find, what I have up here. Oh, Father, let's do, I don't want to, let me look up something else. I've got so many tabs up, y'all. Let's start off with the Charlie Kirk situation. And I'm going to show you a clip. I had all this up. I don't know where it went. I guess we will try, I don't know if it was this one or was CNN. I feel like it was CNN that I had. We'll try this one. I don't know where the CNN one went. Let's see. Okay, that's not the right website. We'll put CNN. Okay. Watch. Y'all give me a second. I'm trying to do a million things at once. Let me see if I can find it. This is not it.
Down conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Officials just released this image. They are asking for the public's help in identifying the person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting. CNN's Nick Watt is following this breaking news. Nick, you are in Orem, Utah. This is a really significant moment that this is being put out to crowdsource.
That video image. We were told they were pretty confident that they could do that. Now released those images.
Okay, hold on, y'all. So that is not the video. Obviously, we know that he is the one. I was looking for the one where the father, where they were talking about how the father had to turn his son in. And I was just thinking how heart-wrenching that has to be for any parent to have to do. But I would like for people to deal with it before it gets this bad. You know, a lot of people have troubled children and troubled people in their family, and nobody does anything. They just say, oh, that's just how they are, or, oh, you know, they're a little bit different, or, oh, they're a little bit this or that. No, get them some help. Get them some serious help before something like this happens and they ruin their life or they ruin somebody else's life. Get them some help. Get them the help that they need. This country needs to deal with mental health issues. That's what they need to deal with. And then they need to deal with gun control. Yes, gun control. I know that's a scary thought. But absolutely, I do not believe everybody deserves to have access to a weapon. If you have somebody in your house that obviously has signs of a mental illness, you don't need to have a weapon in your house around them. Because this is not just about him. There was a 16-year-old child today that, let me go back. Y'all hold on. Because that's what people don't understand. But we got to do something to tighten this up. The same day, like I said, 2 teenagers were shot in a school shooting. A life is a life is a life, and they're all important. We're all the creation of God. We're all his children. Let me see. Let me go back and show you guys some photos. This young man here. This young man right here, 16 years old, got his hands on a weapon. We already understand there's obviously there's mental illness at play, but he shot and killed this young man. This young man shot and killed this young man. This young man shot and killed this young man. Are we getting it yet? This young man shot and killed this young man and somebody else. They don't want the photo to be released. This young man shot and killed this young man. Are we getting it yet? Are we getting it yet? Let me come back to you. Let me come back to you. Y'all forgive me. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. Let me go back to this layout right here. Are we understanding? Y'all hold on. I don't even see. Give me a second. Let me come back to y'all. I'm trying to figure out what's going on myself. Hold on. Okay. So, yeah, like, oh. Before I leave y'all today, because I am about to leave y'all, I'm going to talk about the Bible just a little bit. I'm not looking at y'all. Y'all, I'm not good with this layout, so I don't even know where the heck my picture went. I don't even know where it went, y'all. Hold on. So I'm not focused on this right now. For those who don't know the full story of Satan, and for those of y'all that are listening to this and you're all like, why is she bringing up Satan? Because like I said, we are in spiritual warfare right now. We're in the battle of spirituality. And people who get it, and people who don't. This ain't for you. But in the story, do y'all know? Well, most of us should know the story of Satan. Satan was an angel. Satan was an angel originally. He was beautiful. He was absolutely gorgeous. Out of all the angels, he was the most beautiful. And the Most High favored him. But his ego, his pride caused him to question God, to rise up against God. So he was punished. He lost his wings and he was cast down beneath the earth to hell. And oftentimes when you hear about Satan, he's not necessarily called Satan. He's called a liar. He's called, he is called a deceiver. He's the great deceiver. The Bible refers to him as the great deceiver. The Messiah called him, get thee behind me, the deceiver, right? He's a liar and the truth is not in him, literally. So we look at these stories and we see that you have politicians trying to make it about, you know, who's at fault here, the left or the right, right? They're focusing on that, right? Whenever we have these shootings, they're hyper focused on, you know, the kid's background and this and that. But the great deceit, the truth is the elephant in the room. The truth is right in front of us, y'all. The truth is you got too many people that have accessibility to weapons that shouldn't have accessibility to weapons. Don't let them pull the wool over your eyes and make it some political issue when it's not a political issue. They want it to be a political issue because they're concerned about elections coming up instead of being concerned about people's lives, about the lives of children, for God's sake, and innocent people. We are at war with spirits. And this world is ran by evil. We are in an evil world. Not everything or everyone in the world is evil, but who is running this world is. And you can see that in this story. Why was there so little coverage on the school shooting? Why hasn't nobody brought up gun control? Why hasn't nobody talked about the mental illness in this country and what we need to do about it? Why are we researching how to make another Viagra pill for women? Why is that important, but mental health awareness is not important to teach the American people, to teach the world? Why is that not important? But we're going to be focused on this other nonsense, the great deceiver. This is his world, the great deceiver. So it's up to us, y'all, to use our wisdom, to use our eye. Some call it a third eye. To see through the bullshit and the foolishness. Now, I was talking about the 23rd Psalm. Y'all forgive me, I'm not looking at y'all. I'll get distracted. The 23rd Psalm was a song by David. Let me see. I got out of it, y'all. Where did it go? Lord have mercy. Hold on, y'all. I lost it because I'm trying to share it to y'all. I'm going to try this one more time. Okay, there it is. I'm like, God darn. It does not want me to share this. Share it so you guys see it. We'll read it together. All right. Give me 1 second. And we're going to go out with this. Make sure y'all can see it. If it's big enough, I think that's the biggest I can make it, you guys. Let's read it. 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. It says, what? Oh, yeah. Your rod. I thought it said your red. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. So, they're saying that, I know that God is with me. He walks with me. He comforts me. And he sets me up on high, right? You prepare a table. You prepare a table. You do it in front of everybody. He said, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head and you put them up on high. When you anoint somebody's head, honey, you bless them. Said, you anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over. You bless me so much, honey, that my cup is running over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of Yahweh forever. So let me come back to y'all. I'm not looking at y'all. I want y'all to, could y'all not see that? Could y'all not see oh God. Hey, May. I've been watching you also, sweetie. Good morning, third. Could y'all not see what I was reading? Somebody tell me whether or not y'all could see it. Because it says that y'all can see it, but I don't see that y'all can see it. Hold on. Let me see. I'm going to try this one more time. I'm learning this, y'all. Forgive me. I'm learning how to use this thing. Everybody says that this mobile, but I don't, maybe I just need to get used to it. If you guys are coming in, please take some time and watch it from the beginning. I think this was a very good live. I think it was a very educational live. We're paying our respect to the deceased, but I'm also being real about America and how they refuse to deal with the issues. But we paid our respect to this young man here who died in a school shooting. All this stuff happened the same day. He was killed by this little 16-year-old here. This 16-year-old brought a gun to school and killed this 18-year-old who was about to graduate. And he killed another teenager. Just like this young man, who obviously had mental illness, killed the other young man. You see what I'm saying? This young man killed this young man. And this young man here killed the other young man. So we do have a problem in this country with guns, but we definitely have a problem in this country with the lack of education about mental illness. A lot of young people have mental illness and they are undiagnosed, and we have to bring awareness to this a lot. And it's not that I'm not blaming the families, but a lot of the families don't even know. I work with these kids day in and day out. I see them. I deal with them every day. And my heart breaks for them because they're not heard. Their own parents, because they don't understand. No one has explained to them what mental illness is. They just think, oh, he's 16 years old. He's in his room. He's just going through a teenage thing. No, that's not a normal teenage thing. It's not normal to spend 8 hours a day at school and the rest of your time in your room on a computer, where you're vulnerable, where these freaks and weirdos are taking over the internet. That's not normal. It's not normal that they don't have a social life. That's not normal. I need parents to wake up. I need the United States government to do a better job raising mental health awareness and actually putting research in for mental health awareness. Instead of trying to make everything a political debate, let's prevent these useless and senseless killings and murders. Let's prevent another Sandy Hook. Let's prevent another situation where a 16-year-old boy kills an 18-year-old boy, or a 20-something-year-old man kills a 30-something-year-old man. And now everybody's life is destroyed. Everybody's life is destroyed. Can we prevent that, please? So thank you all for coming in. Let me look at you and then I'll say goodbye. Hey, T, it's good to see you, sweetheart. Yes, it's very divisionist, and we talked about that too. Thank you all for coming in. I hope you guys did enjoy this. Yeah, T says it's a psych op. I'm gonna read a few. Let me stop rushing. I'm gonna read your comments because I do value what you all have to say. Did you not see the tube going up his top when you slow motion the video? Did I not see the tube? No. Let me see. It says, was today years old when I learned God spelled backwards was dog. Let me find out. The Lord is my shepherd. Let me read the rest of your comments. It says YouTube has been glitching a lot lately, though. Okay. 911, the buildings were empty. Okay. So y'all are letting me know some things, okay? Okay. I'm reading you guys. It's a fair up, always right meow. Well, so there is I talked a little bit about this earlier. Like I said, I want you guys to go back and watch it. The truth be told, honestly, from the science, from the research that I've done and my knowledge is that, and I talked about this statistically about young males at a certain age group, right? From 18, I think young males are in danger and at risk for certain things from the age of 18 to like their early to mid 30s. That's when they're highest at risk for certain type of conditions like depression. It's also, if you think of, well, the younger age is puberty. So there's a lot of hormonal things going on with young people at that age. But yes, I did mention that. But I don't want to make this a white, black, or Asian thing, because I honestly feel that y'all, I see, and I'm not exaggerating, I see about 70 something kids a day. 70, I repeat, 70 something kids a day. Been in pediatrics for well over 20 years, going on about 25 years. I have worked with a lot of kids. I wouldn't be too far off in saying I've probably worked with over 1,000 children. I've done school bus work. I've traveled. I've done conferences. I've worked with a lot of young people. And I see kids that potentially have the potential to do. And the thing of it is, and parents might not want to admit this, they probably have seen it too. But that's why we've got to bring mental health awareness to this country and take it seriously. We got to stop worrying about lobbyists. We got to get better gun control. They don't want the gun control because we all know that we all know that they're worried about money, honey. Okay. Um. They worried about money over children's lives. That is disgusting. That's why I say we are in a world of evil. We are dealing with sins and principalities. We are dealing with this is spiritual warfare, honey. And if you have an eye, you'll see it. But everybody's not going to see it. They want the people to believe that it can't be fixed. It can be fixed. But when you worship man and money over God and what's right and righteousness, then you're going to say it can't be fixed. It can be fixed. Tighten up the gun laws. Shine a light on mental health disorders. Educate people. They did a whole campaign on eating healthy, which was great. Now do a whole campaign on mental health awareness. Teach the American people how to identify when your child is in crisis. Because they don't know. These parents don't know. I see it every day, y'all. I see it every day. Kids that I literally, I have to pray, honey, in the break room. Father, please touch his spirit. Father, please touch his mind. I probably pray for some of these children more than their parents do. My grandmother and my mom taught me a long time ago to pray for your kids when they walk out the door. And I remember I was young and I asked my grandmother, well, you know, because she prayed for everything, y'all. When we left the house, she prayed over us. When we woke up, we said our prayers together. The Lord's Prayer. We went to bed, we said our prayer. We ate, we said our prayer. We went to church about 3-4 times a week. And one day I just asked her, I said, because she wanted to pray before we left the house. We were just walking down the street. And she said, honey, you walking in the devil is to and fro, honey. This is his land. So when I pray for you, honey, I'm giving you that armor of protection, honey. I'm letting the devil know you can't touch this one. You can't have this one, honey, so that you guys can come home safe to us. This is Satan's world we living in. So I want to remind you all, if you are believers, pray for your loved ones, pray for these children, pray for these families. When they leave your house, that they come home safely. That's all I have, you guys. I really enjoyed you all. I think this was a really informative live. It might not have been a live that everybody came to, but my message is, good morning, MTGV. It's good to see you. My message isn't for everybody. It's only for a select few. And if you understand, you understand. And if you don't, I pray one day that you will. Because I promise you, there was no lies told. I love you guys. You guys have a great, great morning. Thank you, Leo. Thank you all for being here. They are our future. Thank you all. Need you reason why. Thank you all. Y'all have a wonderful day. I love you. Mwah! See you guys soon with another video. I will be uploading some videos today, sometime today, so check them out. Y'all continue to do good things out there. Congratulations, MTGV, on your everything that you're doing out there. Keep on doing it, sweetheart. Proud of you all. Peace.